Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our very first virtual prostep ivip Symposium, coming to you live from ICS in Stuttgart, Germany. Thank you so much for joining in on this very exciting day. This is a first, and I understand that we have over 1,000 viewers out there from all over the world. So thank you so much for joining in and making this very exciting day possible for us. My name is Yasmine Blair, and I do have the pleasure and the honor of guiding you through this symposium. And while, of course, until the very last minute, we were hoping that we would be able to come together in a very personal form, that is not possible due to COVID-19 for obvious reasons. That will not happen this year. And we are aware of the fact that this symposium is so special for all of the personal exchange, for all of the emotional communication between the participants. But nevertheless, we are excited that we managed to create something brand new this year. And we will be here with our live stream, and we actually do have certain advantages. First of all, we have all of the international participants joining us. And second of all, let's keep in mind that the speakers as well will be just as international. So we have a very broad variety, and this online format will make that possible. Now, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, is speaking of new normal. And when we speak of new normal, maybe this right here is a pioneer leading us directly towards the future. Who knows? Be as it may, the only thing that's important, the only thing that must remain the same is all of the knowledge, the important information, the news, all of the exciting information that we will be able to attain throughout this symposium, and that will stay the same whether online or live. So that's the important part. Now, before we start out, let me give you a short outline of what you can expect from today. In just a minute, I will be greeting our board of the prostep ivip Association, and I'm looking forward to that. They're right here and ready to go. Afterwards, we're going to move on to our presentations and keynotes and get to meet our brilliant speakers. At the end of each keynote, we will have a short 5-minute slot for questions and answers. That is where you come in, ladies and gentlemen, but I'll get to that in just a minute. We will have a lunch break from 12:30 to 1 p.m. and then later on at about 4 p.m. we're going to have our closing towards the end of the symposium. Now, since this is our first year round, before we move along, let me just give you a quick rundown and explanation of our brand new landing page and let you know which technical possibilities we have today. Although we're not together in person, we would like to keep this symposium as interactive as possible. And as just mentioned, that is where you come in, ladies and gentlemen. You should be seeing on the right side of your screen a chat function. Now, that is exactly where you can answer or where you can add your questions. Just type them in right there during our presentations. And at the end of the presentation, we will get back to those questions and answer as many as possible with our respective speakers. So keep that in mind to ask the questions in time during the presentation and not at the very end. The chat function itself, which is for exchange between our community, we will be closing that for the presentations out of respect for the speakers, but the chat function will be turned back on during our lunch break from 12:30 to 1 p.m., that is. What else can you see on the landing page? Of course, we have today's program. You will find that under Agenda. So right there, you will see what is coming up next today. And at this point, I would like to speak out a very, very special thank you to all of our sponsors. Their support made this day possible. And you will find logos of our partners on our landing page. If you click those logos, then you will find further information about these partners. Check it out. There's a lot of interesting stuff to find there. And also, we have prepared some videos of our partners, and we will be showing these videos during the lunch break, again, from 12:30 to 1 p.m., so don't miss out on that. There's one more advantage of today's virtual symposium. All of this is actually being recorded. So if there's something you feel you missed out, or if it was so interesting that you would like to review a certain slot, then you can do so. You can go ahead and do so on our YouTube channel, the channel of the prostep ivip Association, so don't miss out on checking out our YouTube channel as well. Another important point is, and that brings me to my last one, feedback, of course. How do you experience the day? What did you like? What did you not like that much? We need your feedback to be able to grow and make next year's symposium even more enjoyable. So please take a minute time during the break, for example, from 12:30 to 1 p.m. or at the end of this symposium after 4 p.m. to evaluate our symposium and let us know how we were doing today. And thank you much for that in advance. And now, finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving along to meet our board. Let me just tell you this before we get them on stage. This is a very special situation, obviously. We have COVID-19, we have lots of rules and regulations that we do respect. We will be sticking to social distancing, for example. So there's a lot going on here. This is new for us as well, this situation. Please keep that in mind. So just be patient, bear with us, and don't forget, this is live. And in Germany, we say live is live. So there's only a certain amount of that we can control. All right, now with that said, and without any further ado, I would like to welcome the board of the ProStep ivip Association here on stage. Gentlemen, why don't you join me? And thank you. Good morning to you. I will give you your applause because without an audience, oh, thank you. That's our team in the background. Without an audience, there's just us. All right, so let's make sure we have the proper distance. All right, that looks fine. How are you this morning?
Oh, perfect, thank you.
Yeah, excited?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Why don't we start over here, if I may, with you. Philipp, let me just give you a short introduction. Philipp Wibbing, this is, ladies and gentlemen. You are a partner at Unity AG and have been a member of the board of the ProStep ivip Association for 2 years now, roughly. And you must be very excited about today. And I was thinking maybe we could start off by you telling us, for everyone who's here for the first time, I'm a newbie myself, maybe what is so special about the ProStep ivip Symposium in general.
Oh, thank you, Yasmine. But first of all, let's welcome our community. I'm deeply impressed that we have over 1,000 registered participants now here in the virtual space for the first time. So thank you very much. I'm impressed. But back to your question. The ProStep ivip Symposium has been held since 1993 now, so a long tradition. And we could establish that format as an ideal platform for sharing ideas, for exchanging knowledge and experiences, to talk about new solutions all around digital transformation and product development. So this is special and a neutral format here. And we have, especially, you talked about that, we have special challenges, enormous challenges now for all of our partners here, all the community in 2020. But we want to make the symposium happen here. But on the other hand, we want to give priority to the health and the safety of you, of all our community.
So, Philipp, just one follow-up. Is that what made you make this decision to go virtual this year for the first time? And once you tell me when and how you made that decision, maybe is this also a pie in the sky, which is in German Zukunftsmusik? Yeah. Is this something that we need to be getting used to, actually? Because we want to look beyond Corona, of course, and focus on the future as well, Philipp.
Okay. First, our statement is keep the digital passion and stay encouraged. This is the first thing. And I think the team here altogether did a great job to transfer that format into the limitations of Corona. So we do not really plan that this format is a permanent solution. Let me put it like that. I just read about this Harvard professor Hausmann, who did some research about business traveling. And he and his team found out that business traveling has an enormous and direct impact onto economic growth. And that is what we all want. So how we transfer that, I think there are two main aspects. The first thing is content presentation, the content, the results, where we have member group 1, the users, they give us a good insight into their businesses. Member group 2, the IT vendors, so the systems integrators and consultants like me. We contribute by streaming some videos about innovative solutions. We will see that later on. And the research and institutes give us an insight into the latest research findings concerning all our topics. So that point is good. And of course, I forgot the association itself. They give us an insight into the technical program and these results. But on the other hand, the biggest challenge for us in organization this symposium is the networking. It is really worthwhile about the symposium, and we have to transfer that into that virtual format. So please don't ask all your questions, all our community, and discuss with us the results that are presented. That is really worthwhile. So we all have the chance to compensate this corona limitations of this year.
All right, and I would like to thank you, Philipp, put emphasis on what Philipp just said. Use the chat function. Please send us your questions. Our speakers are looking forward to that. And so to sum it up, Philipp, perhaps no pie in the sky. Networking, we're missing it. We're going to do everything to compensate for that. And it's about the content. It begins and ends and stands and falls with the content. And we're going to try to bring that across today as beautifully as possible.
That's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Philipp. Now, moving along, we would like to know what the chairman of the board has to say, of course. Welcome, Dr. Henrik Weimer. Thank you for joining us. And Henrik, to give you a short introduction as well, you work at Airbus and you have been a member of the board of the prostep ivip Association also for about 2 years now. So what challenges did you face while transforming into the virtual symposium that we're presenting here today?
Yeah, so thank you, Yasmine.
Welcome.
And first of all, welcome to all of the participants to the symposium. So you have to keep in mind, prostep ivip is a non-profit association, and we support, as Philipp has said, our member companies. There are 180 of them around the globe in digital transformation, and we do that through projects. And the symposium is the event where basically we share the progress, we share the good examples and the lessons learned, and so that helps the community really to understand what is working for the one, can I use it in my business, so to really support and accelerate the digital transformation of the different member companies. So now our plan was for 2020 also to have, as every year, it's over 25 years now, our symposium here in Stuttgart, but then with the crisis in the spring, it became clear that it couldn't happen during the spring. So because we were very attached to the symposium, we tried to move it on to a little bit later into the year. It was planned now the 2nd and 3rd of September here in Stuttgart, but during the month of June, it became clear that even in September, the situation would probably not be all right. So then we decided to switch over to a virtual event, but because of that, the format is actually changing quite a lot. We had initially planned an event with 44 different presentations in 4 parallel tracks of presentations. Plus, we have usually a big marketplace here where all of the vendors can expose their products and services. Plus, we have a lot of social events around the symposium with an evening reception and gathering. And so to reformat that into a virtual event was actually quite some challenge. And so we had to make a down selection of the initially selected 44 presentations. We now have only 11. Plus, we have decided to really focus on the essence of the program, So what is important to the industrial transformation of our members and the strategy of the organization, plus to really make it global. So we have presenters from Japan, we have presenters from Europe, we have presenters from the US. So that was our take on that. But the element that was a little bit difficult to bring in the virtual event is this interactive exchange. So we all hope that in the future we can come back to that. But as Philipp said, in the meantime, we have to do with the Q&A. And I really invite you all to take good benefit of the Q&A function.
Thank you once more, putting emphasis on that once more, ladies and gentlemen. Henrik, thank you so much. And I think, just hearing that, having to break with a 25-year-old tradition, and creating something brand new, and I think you created it in about a month, in very, very short, or very, very little time. So that really says a lot about the difficulties that come with that. But why don't we talk about the current state of affairs in industry? Henrik, I would like to ask for your expertise and ask, what do you make of the transformation challenges from the perspective of the industrial user community? What's your take on that?
All right. So When we look at the world that surrounds us, it's really in a phase of acceleration, kind of, or sometimes called volatility. There are lots of new regulations that appear, plus there are enormous challenges that we all face as humankind. For example, to come to a more green economy, and plus there are lots of new regulations that we all have to respect. So there's a lot of external challenges, kind of, when you want to create a product that fits into this new market that you need to take into account. Plus, kind of, what we expect today from our products is really growing also. We expect connected products that can communicate with each other. It's no longer an isolated thing that does its a little service, but we talk about a system that is connected into a wider system, a system of systems. And so our member companies, they look for processes on how they can create products that fit into this context. In a more volatile world, create systems of systems. Plus, it's not only about the product, it's also about how can you manufacture this product. And it's normally not only one company that manufactures, but it's a network of companies. So it's an enormous complexity that needs to be mastered there to create the products of today. And what emerges there as the trend is really what we call a more model-based approach or data-driven processes, so that we basically describe and simulate our product through models, and then can use these models to really mature the product and create it to fit into this space, and also use models for the industrial, for the support and services. So really this transformation to a model-based world, model-based system engineering and data-driven processes, that's really at the heart of the challenge for our member companies. And that's really the core of the mandate of the ProStep ivip Association, to support our members to reach this transformation, to get to model-based.
Thank you for your expertise, Henrik, and we're going to be hearing more about that in more detail with some of our keynotes to come. So thank you, gentlemen. Let me move on over to this side. Thank you to you as well for joining us, and thank you for your patience. On to our next member of the board. He has been at Robert Bosch GmbH for over 30 years now and has been a member of the board of the ProStep ivip Association for 8 years. Welcome, Armin Hoffacker. Thank you for joining us today. Armin, how are you feeling?
I feel fine, and
yeah,
also in this challenging times.
Yes, definitely very challenging times. And also, again, as with Henrik, I would like for your special expertise, how do things look for IT vendors, for suppliers, for service providers? Can you just give us some prospect here?
As said before, in these challenging times,
right.
The economic crisis is hitting the manufacturing industry in a very ambitious phase of digitalization. Topics like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, etc., are moving from strategy objectives to concrete implementation projects.
And that brings challenges.
Yes, these are real challenges, and also in the system architecture of vehicles, which is an important topic for Bosch,
of course,
is becoming more comprehensive today. Although we are currently talking about specific control units for powertrain, for driver dynamics, for autonomous driving, etc., a lot of topics, the systems are getting more comprehensive, and we are moving towards, and actively moving towards, central computers for cars, for vehicles. As far as industry is concerned there, the organizational prerequisites for developing higher level systems are just as important as the ability to collaborate. That means for the IT world, the need to provide and integrate innovative and open systems is a very important topic today. This brings us to the core competence of the ProStep ivip Association. As a framework for collaborative development, and I think perhaps this crisis is also a new chance or a new opportunity for the association to further grow.
I'm hoping so. I think we're all hoping so. And it's not only about the challenges, but about the opportunities. Thank you for mentioning that. And we're going to look at those in just a minute. But last but not least, I would like to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, our last member of the board with us today. He works at Fraunhofer IPK in Berlin. Please welcome Professor Dr. Rainer Stark. Thank you for joining us, Rainer.
Thank you, Yasmine.
Wonderful to have you, Rainer. And you have been on the board the longest, if I understand correctly, for over 8 years now. Your institutions are among the architects of the actual idea behind ProStep ivip, which is very interesting. So also here, same question. What is your take on the current state of industry?
Well, obviously everybody's under corona stress, which is pity, but we have the big challenges ahead of us. They are not going away. like sustainability, we have CO2 reduction, but we also have to make interconnected systems, they are networked, and we have new manufacturing technologies. So to make all that happen, we from ProStep are making sure that the digital models, the data, the information has become the new ground force. Now to make that happen, we have to make changes. A crisis can give empowerment, encouragement to make those changes, but to really make sure that we deliver those network products, we got to make 100% robust digital progression to connect all these elements. Therefore, we have to have more system thinking, and that means we have to change our business practices. So that's the real challenge. However, we have enough solution at our hands to encourage industry to go those steps, pragmatic steps, what Henrik already mentioned. Model-based systems aging, AI in product development, all these kind of data analytics. So we need to combine it in a new way, and I'm confident that we, with that type of digitalization, we really can make the difference and can provide new solutions we need according to our challenges.
Thank you so much, Rainer, for mentioning solutions, because of course, these past few months, it was all about challenges and hard times, and we need to also see the chances, the opportunities, as Armin also mentioned. The next question subsequently would be, now that we've heard how difficult times are, we've heard a lot about the current challenges. I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, there has been an overload of information on current challenges. We would like to know how to make things better. So the next question is, what is the ProStep ivip Association doing exactly in order to help the industry get back on track? Let's put it that way. I would like to direct this question to you once more, Armin.
Here. The association sees itself as a globally active, independent network. Independent, it's important, I think. We are comprising manufacturing industry with IT vendors, service providers, and also the research community. The primary focus of our work lies in the digital transformation of product development and production processes. It formulates and bundles the requirements of manufacturers and suppliers in industry. We define standards and interfaces and provide forums for IT vendors to improve interoperability for them. And finally, we carry out also vendor-independent benchmarks to prove that.
And I would like to add, if allowed, so we made a long way from data exchange and data management to full life cycle and all the elements which need to have, let's say, interoperability. So therefore, I'm really glad that now with the new working groups and projects, we are going in things like artificial intelligence product development. We are having a lot of systems engineering activities in our association already, and we are making the strive to go from document-based to more system and model-based approach, where we need to fertilize that to our industrial partners.
So can we say in a nutshell that you are creating, you have a platform, you are creating possibilities within neutral grounds and on a neutral platform?
Absolutely.
Can we put that? Sounds fantastic and very helpful, of course, in the current time. Thank you, gentlemen. Henrik, I have another question for you. What can we expect after all we've heard? What can we expect for next year? Get out your glass ball and let us know.
Exactly. I'm the expert to predict the future.
Yes, then this is your time.
I can live up to that challenge to tell us what will happen next year.
Please.
But for sure, I mean, as I said in my initial remarks, it's really one of the core assets of the association, this symposium, to come together to exchange and to learn from each other. And so we all hope that it will be possible, and our current plan is to make it possible. It's next year, 5th and 6th of May, where we have reserved again here in Stuttgart the Congress Center, and we hope to have the event here. But just in case it will not be possible, we can build on the learnings from today, and we will recreate again either hybrid or virtual event if necessary. But please mark your calendars next year, 5th and 6th of May.
So our hopes are high. We would like to meet again in person next year on May 5th and 6th. Put it in big fat red letters and numbers in your calendar, as Henrik just mentioned. Thank you for giving me that cue. That, ladies and gentlemen, was your formal invitation to join us for next year's symposium. Again, whether live here in Stuttgart or online, we look forward to that now already. But before we move on to next year, we need to get started today, don't we? Gentlemen, I would like to say thank you to all of you. It is now time to get to business and to meet our first speakers. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's your applause from our team. While you head off stage, thank you.